Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 16 of the Mitch and Alex Show. He's Mitch.
Am I?
I'm Alex.
I am.
I am. You are. We are the Mitch and Alex Show, sponsored by Bulldog Glass and Property Maintenance. For all your glass and property maintenance needs, head over to Bulldog Glass and Property Maintenance. You can find their information on our social media. And for a small fee, a Bulldog does come out and do the work. Man, that was such a good plug, and my phone ruined it. Got a big show in store.
Hold on, I got to mention our sponsor bought us a big, beautiful banner. You've used it once, Chief.
Yeah, no. So I've got the All-Star one up at the moment because we're talking about the history of All-Star. So that was
the
fitting.
sponsor understands.
The sponsor. Oh, here we go. David Bullock's in here. Good to see you, David Bullock.
Back again. I don't think he's ever missed
Good
it.
afternoon, gents. And even if he has, he's watched it back later. What a guy.
What a fan.
Big week ahead for us. We've got.
It's a big 6 months, boss.
Tell me about it, Chief. Tell me about it.
Well, there's tons of All-Star action coming up in the next 6 months.
B-Boy says, Box got lazy. Good to see you in here, B-Boy.
Box did get lazy.
Yeah. Cameron Keep says, the hair looks schmick, boss. I don't know. Well, he's not talking to me because I've got a hat on.
So. I was saying that.
Yeah,
my hair looks really
just
good
before
today.
we went live, he was like,
Yeah.
I like it.
He's giving it a style, and look at me.
He just brushed it too.
Yeah. Hairbrush.
Broken hairbrush.
Yep.
Yeah. Big 6 months ahead. But
Let's talk about this week.
this week, Saturday, the iconic pad store RSL, we've got There Can Only Be One.
And there can only be one champion, box.
There can. And it will be Orlando Jordan, Lee Moreau, or Keegan Bredel.
Now, who's your pick, box? We're going to do predictions later on.
We will.
But main event, who do you think?
It's the iconic pad store RSL. It's the home of Keegan Bredel. How can you go past Big Keeksy B? And he's my trainer, so I'm a little bit biased, but
It's all right. It's okay to be biased towards a trainer.
who's your pick, Mitch?
Well, I can't go past experience. Orlando Jordan, if he can get the job done quickly, he could be the man that walks away with it. Over 20 years experience.
That's true. Former WWE United States champion.
Current All-Star Wrestling Heavyweight
That
champion.
is true. My phone's going.
Your phone is going mental. You're very popular.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, you could have fooled me.
The Mr. Drunk Monkey, Cameron Che, he's in the chat, and so is ring announcer Phil. How are you, ring announcer Phil? So
That's
last
such a
week
nice little community here, box.
we do. It's the same people every week. The additions of Cameron Keep and B-Boy this week, though. It's good to see them in
it's a
here.
rare appearance by them.
So last week we touched on the first year of All-Star. That was 2018.
Mhm.
This week we go into the second year, which was 2019.
It's going to be exciting. 2019 was like the first full year we did.
Yeah.
Because 2018 started in April, so it was like 9 months instead of 12.
Yeah. So I'm excited to go through this. Should we get into it?
Well, Box, you mentioned excitement. And before we start, I've got to mention, announced on the All-Star socials today. You want to tell the people, have you seen the announcement, Box?
I have seen the announcement. I refresh rapidly at 5 p.m. every day for the update. But this one was early.
It was early.
It was early. It was like a 4:47 update. We've got a comment here from Cameron Keep. I can't even read that. Ringside addiction.
Yeah, we'll be touching on that.
We will
Cameron
be.
Keep.
We will be. Yes, Andrew Villalobos will be issuing.
The former New Japan Young Lion.
That's right. He will be issuing an open challenge. Now, us trainees have been talking amongst ourselves.
That's the story I'm hearing.
Yeah, we're talking amongst ourselves and seeing who deserves the shot the most.
Now, personally, Box, I'm a Dancing Dave guy.
Well,
Is Dancing Dave in the discussion? Surely he is.
of course he is. Of course he is. But myself, I'm also in the discussion. I think
Are
I'm
you
deserving.
actually?
Yeah, of course.
All right, yeah.
Imagine that. Imagine me entering the open challenge to Andrew Villalobos, a former New Japan Young Lion.
I mean, there'd be about 3 people in the crowd that'd know who you were, and they'd be real excited.
And one of them would be David Bullock.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm sure B-Boy would be cheering you on from the backstage area as well.
100% he would be.
But what about the puppeteer, Box?
Oh, look, you can't go past
The most experienced training.
definitely, and I think he's had some Padstow experience before.
Yeah,
He's wrestled a few matches on Padstow, and
Wrestled in a Knights Remember Box.
he was part of the little main event scuffle as well. puppeteers played a big part, but I think the rest of us trainees,
What about Jimmy Zero?
Jimmy who?
Jimmy Zero.
Who's that? I think
Rowley?
no.
No.
But honestly, I think any one of us trainees could take it to Villalobos. I don't know that we'd win, but we could take it to him.
I don't know. He's an experienced guy.
He is.
Fingers crossed.
I know he's versed the likes of Kenta, which is huge. Japanese wrestling legend, Robbie Eagles. So yeah, I'm excited. It could be any one of us.
Now,
Might not even be one of us.
If it is Dancing Dave, who has a bit of a reputation for being a bit of a dick,
yeah,
would you cheer him on because he's a fellow trainee, or would you cheer on Villalobos?
Oh, I'd have to cheer on Dancing Dave.
I think so too.
He's a friend of mine.
We've tagged of yours.
Yeah,
I would never have guessed it.
Yeah, we've tagged together previously.
I didn't know about the tag team. Yeah, I was there for that.
Yeah, we did lose, but you've got to support a fellow brother.
All right.
Let's see. What do we got here? We've got some comments.
Akel. Comments flying box.
Akel's in the chat. Yeah, the big dog. Shout out to Akel.
Akel's first appearance on the pod.
I think so.
Yeah.
The updates have been coming in rapidly this week. Love it.
Exciting time.
B-Boy says Jeremy to open the Open Challenge. You know what? I didn't even think about that.
Jeremy Kopp. Trained as a referee, but also trained as a wrestler.
Yeah, who knows?
Referee Jeremy.
Hell yeah, we'd be excited if it was you, Alex, says David Bullock.
Oh yeah, would be.
Mitchell Burns says, shout out to Deepak. That is true. We haven't done that in a while. Akel also says, shout out to Deepak winning 2023 Future Prospect Award. Must be an insult.
I hadn't heard about that one.
Yeah. I need Fly Guy to sign up to the training school within the next 3 days to fight Andrew Villalobos.
Would you allow that box as a trainee? If someone just signed up to the school, would you be like, yeah, you can take them on? Or would it be something for the guys that have been here for a little while?
I mean, maybe, but it's Fly Guy. It's Fly Guy. You got to love Fly Guy. If Xena pins Jasmine this weekend, does she get a title shot next show? That's a great question.
It would make sense usually if a champion is defeated by someone in a non-title match does lead to a title match. So
who knows?
Who knows?
What if Katie Forbes gets a win? Will she come back and challenge her tag team partner?
Possibly.
Who knows?
It's an interesting one.
So
we're gonna go into 2019. I see your massive notes.
Yeah. Akel says, I want to take the Fale Dojo course and stay in a moldy mattress for 3 months.
Do you know what that reference
No,
is?
I don't.
I'll aware you off air.
Okay.
I'm aware of what Mr. Akel is saying.
Akel says, I'll do that to face Villalobos. Wow. A moldy mattress for 3 months. Will you do it in a dress, though?
But no, the idea is that it's someone from the All-Star Academy, Akel, not someone from the Fale Dojo.
Yeah, Akel.
It's going to be like a guy like him.
Yeah. Or Dancing Dave.
Or
the Puppeteer.
Jimmy Zero, Jeremy, the referee, Rowley. There's another one who we will announce later.
Yeah.
The trains here. There's 10 of them now. 9 of them. Something like that.
Okay. So let's get into All-Star 2019. I've got a little thing going here. Hold on. Give me a second.
You've got a theme.
So we started off with Summer Spectacular.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see, how cool is that? Look at me go on a machine.
It is the most generic thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, thanks.
It's a blue box.
I can't even find which one Summer Spectacular was. It must be missing. I had it. Is that it there? I don't know. I can't keep up anymore.
You've fumbled at the
I have. I've fumbled.
Go into the content. People are leaving Akel's off to go with the B.
I'm sorry. 2019 opens up with the first ever Summer Spectacular. One of my favorite events.
Is it your favorite event?
Yeah, I think so.
It's one of my favorites too. There's something about summertime wrestling, SummerSlam, the Summer Spectacular.
I dare say that Summer Spectacular 2023 is it's 1 or 2. It's first or second on my favorite
this the other day.
My favorite list.
For me, it's number 2.
And I have to remember 3 has to be number 1.
That's the breakout event.
Yeah. So, what were your thoughts on the first ever Summer Spectacular? And did you expect it to become?
Well, can we run through the card box, because
we certainly can.
I remember last week we did this, and it ignited my memory a little bit.
Okay. So it was held at the Coonawarra Community Centre.
Yes.
Opening match. Blake Stone defeats Rick Rowland.
Yeah.
You
looking for a comment on that?
No, it's just because last week I said Rowland, and I thought you were going to reference that. Vinnie Bronson with Dan Archer defeats Jack Zimmer.
Yeah.
Jace Chalmers and Lee Moreau defeat Daniel Alexander and the Birdman, Phil Picasso.
Yeah.
Johnny Starr defeats Tony Cruz. Was that match 1 or 2 in their trilogy?
I think it was match 2.
Yeah. And
it was a really good trilogy as well.
It was. Keegan Brettle with Jasmine defeats Dan Archer with Vinnie Bronson.
Debut of Keegan, yeah.
Hudson Hulk defeats Dean Draven in a number 1 contenders match.
Yeah.
And in the main event for the heavyweight title, Kingston Eclipse defeats El Jaguar.
Okay, so now we run through it. What did I think of the event?
Yeah.
I don't really remember it too well, to be honest with you, boss.
Fair enough.
It was, 4 years ago?
Yeah, about that.
Like, I just remember that the crowd was down that night, which was common in those days for All-Star. Maybe 50, 60 people in attendance, if that. It was a scorching hot day, and they didn't have air conditioning. They had, fans. So we were just circulating hot air.
Yeah, right.
And one of the wrestlers said, if they weren't booked, they would have been at the beach, and I agreed with him.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what I remember of that event. I remember El Jag and Kingston Eclipse had a really good match. I vaguely remember Keegan's debut.
I was just about to say, so Jasmine and Keegan debut at this event.
Yeah.
They go on to become mainstays at All-Star and arguably, well, they're an integral part of All-Star.
Of course, yeah.
What did you think of them in this debut? And obviously you're impressed enough to bring them back, but what did you think?
Yeah, I remember the match was good. I remember it was fresh out of intermission. They went 8 minutes, and he wrestled Dan Archer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another very talented
Dan
wrestler.
Archer's very capable as well, and they had a good match. I don't specifically remember meeting them and all that, but they wouldn't have done anything that would have been let's not bring these people back because they were, back. But yeah, it was a good performance. I saw a lot of potential in both Keegan and Jazz, and that's pretty much it.
4 years later, here we are.
Yeah.
4.5.
What time ago, Bob?
I was going to say, well, did they kind of give you any impressions of, hey, we want to come back, we really enjoyed it? I know Keegan said that, they left the building that night and they loved it. So
yeah, I think they liked the vibes at All Star because we've always kind of had a no dickhead policy backstage. Some places have, they've got guys that split off or they got cliques. We try not to have any of that. So I think that's what they liked. It wouldn't have been anything about crowds or big buildings or anything because we were in a pretty shitty building and it was boiling hot that day.
Yeah.
I do remember Keegs sweating profusely in the backstage area asking about air conditioning as well.
Yeah.
There was none of.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So
those were the days, boys.
Those were the days. Let's see, we've got a couple of comments here. David Bullock says, Summer Spectacular lived up to its name this year. We loved it. It was a very, very great show.
It was action-packed. It really was.
The return of Keegan, Eagles versus Eagles.
So many great moments.
D-Boy versus Johnny Starr.
It was a good underrated match.
That was an underrated feud. I really enjoyed that one.
Remember when Johnny Starr beat up Santa?
I do.
Saved by D-Boy.
Do you think Santa will get his revenge this year? Next month? Who knows? Watch out, Johnny Starr. If you're
I do hope Santa does come back, though.
Mm.
It's not a Christmas show without Santa.
Sweet 27 Design says, good luck to Tony Cruz this weekend. Wow, a Tony Cruz fan.
And a new person to the pod.
Yeah.
How have we reached all these people, Box? What's going on?
I don't know. My link sharing ability must have been strong. David Bullock says, Summer Spectacular lived up to its name this year. Yeah. No, you said it again.
Oh.
Akel says, Violent One versus Puppeteer. Puppet over Strong. Who's the Violent? I don't know who that is. Mitchell Burns says, Puppet for Champ. Wow.
People love the puppet.
You know what? I don't blame him.
I hope the puppet's the one that gets to wrestle Bill Lobo.
Akel says, is Santa David Hilda dressed up? So, we move on to February.
Akel's funny. I hope he becomes a regular.
He is pretty funny. Let's see. Let me check my notes. Where were we next? Steel City Showdown.
Yeah, so this one I have more memories of. So, read through the card for the people.
Okay, so this was back at the Illawarra Leagues Club.
Yep.
Phil Picasso defeats Ryan Miller. Jace Chalmers defeats Nate Carlo. Keegan Brettle with Jasmine defeats the Prince of Leon and Tony Cruz in a triple threat match. I remember watching this on YouTube recently.
It was a good match.
The All-Star Tag Team titles, Darius Vega, now Andrew Villalobos, and Lee Moreau defeat Dean Draven and El Jaguar.
Yeah,
new
so
champions.
Villalobos, not just the former New Japan Young Lion, but also former All-Star Wrestling Tag Team.
That's true. Blake Stone defeats Dan Archer.
Yep.
Now, the semi-main event in what was referenced by Cameron Keep earlier for the Ringside Addiction title.
Yes.
Johnny Starr defeats Alex Cabeas and becomes the new champion. Quavers? Quavers?
Yeah.
Same shit. Yeah, Johnny Starr becomes the Ringside Addiction champion.
It was a really nice moment. We'll touch on that.
Here we go. We got some comments in here. Ring announcer Phil says B-Boy got the loudest pop of the night when he pinned Tony Cruz. Yeah, that was a huge pop. That was a night to remember, though.
It would have been between him and the Ultimate Dragon, and I know B-Boy would not be upset about that comparison.
Yeah. Cameron
Or
Keith.
maybe Wes as well, like the people crying in the crowd. That probably would have been my top 3 that night.
I just got off the phone with Star. He said if Santa shows up, he's going to ring his jingle bells and shove his sack. Bleep, bleep, bleep.
Wow.
You're allowed to swear in the comments here, Cameron Keith.
Yeah, we swear all the time.
Yeah.
That's unnecessarily aggressive as well.
Yeah. Mitchell Burns says Puppet versus Villa in a no strings attached match.
What would a no strings attached match be?
I don't know, but the puppeteer with his strings.
I get it.
I like that.
I do like it. I might steal that.
And the main event of this card, by the way, it's still City Showdown, was a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Yeah.
Kingston Eclipse, the champion, versus Hudson Hulk, ends in a no contest.
It's an interesting finish.
Yeah. 6 months you didn't go to the Illawarra Leagues Club.
Yeah.
Why was that? And why return?
I think I was trying to persist with
Coonawarra.
as the main building because it had more of a wrestling feel. Like it was a big, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's a big basketball court. And you can put the ring in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have seen it on some videos.
It was like a small 300-400 seat and it had that arena vibe. So I'm like, oh, this could be the place, but it wasn't the place. People typically don't like to attend community halls for wrestling or for events in general. So that's why we went back to the Leagues Club. There was a show later on that we did at the community center again to try and,
continue the fan base
again, but it didn't work.
Okay. At this event, Johnny Starr defeats Singaporean wrestler Alex Cabeas, whatever.
I think it was Cabeas. I don't know.
For the Ringside Addiction title.
Yeah.
How did Cabeas end up coming into All-Star, and how was he to work with?
So we've touched on Ringside Addiction before. Should we touch on it again? I guess we should briefly, right?
Yeah. Hold on, just quickly. Akel says Andrew Venables fears Birdman.
Yeah. So Ringside Addiction was a promotion owned by a guy named Andrew Venables.
Speaking of, the Millennial Man is here, Andrew Venables.
Well, what's he saying? Don't.
I don't.
I don't what?
Fear the Birdman.
Oh, okay. It always weirds me out that AV is like the listener of the pod.
Yeah.
Anyway, he ran this thing called Ringside Addiction. It wasn't really a promotion. It was more of a sponsorship type deal. So he would pay hundreds of dollars for his belt to be on a show or for him to be able to show like a wrestling event on his network.
Right.
And he claimed he was making tens of thousands of dollars a year from this, but I can't see how he would have been, especially with 2019 All-Star.
Keep your mouth shut about our private business relations. Shut up, Millennial Man.
Anyway, to close it off, Quaveas, whatever you want to say, he was flown out by him, paid for him to be there. He wanted Johnny Starr to be the new champion, so we facilitated that.
Fair enough.
Yes, that's the story. What was the question? You had a second part to that.
How was he to work with?
He was fine. He was a very nice guy. He got cancelled in the speaking out movement, so like I can't really speak that positively of him after hearing what he did to people. But to me, he was fine for the few hours I was around him.
Here we go. We've got a little bit Let's just say. Akel says, please don't badmouth Blandrew vegetables.
No, I won't badmouth it.
Millennial Man, AV says, I will sue you. Sue emphasized
I
there.
get threatened with
Mitchell
lawsuits
Burns
all the
is just going on about the puppeteer, and I love it. Birdman versus Puppet, licensed to print money.
time. I said to the puppeteer today, I go, you remind me of the Birdman.
Yeah.
And I've known the Birdman a very long time. So they're very similar people. And if that match ever happened, we would be there for it.
Dimes.
Dimes.
Millennial Man says, this is the final battle, Mitch Kristen.
Millennial Man, please.
Please.
We've got to talk about you. You know, you're a small part of 2019
All-Star
All-Star.
yeah.
As much as I don't want to say that, but it was a cool moment for Johnny Starr,
It was.
and that's AV's lasting impression on All-Star. He gave Johnny Starr a cool moment.
So that's right. That moment did the streamers were thrown in the ring.
Yeah,
there was a whole thing.
We've used that footage heaps of times, and there's a really nice photo of Johnny Starr with the belt, and the streamers all over him. And that was a cool moment.
What a guy.
What a guy indeed.
A Crazy Falls Count Anywhere match headlines this event, ending in a no contest. However, a stable is formed in All-Star named The Family.
Yeah.
The stable would consist of Hudson Hulk, Jace Chalmers, Kingston Eclipse, Tony Cruz, and Mr. Waterhouse.
Mr. Waterhouse. Yeah.
How did The Family come about? Whose idea was it? And did you feel it was a good idea?
I think it was a joint effort. But in regards to whose idea it was a joint effort with me and Hudson Hulk. What's the comment box?
Millennial Man says a Falls Count Nowhere match.
I think it was mine and Hudson Hulk's idea. Hudson Hulk wanted to turn heel for whatever reason. And I'm like, well, it doesn't really make sense, but he was insisting on it. So I'm like, it won't work, but we'll do it. And we did it. And he was still shaking fans' hands and taking photos and all that. And I go, well, what are you doing shaking fans' hands? You're heel. He's like, oh, I cannot deny the children. So I'm like, okay.
Sounds like the puppeteer.
Yeah,
he loves the children.
Puppeteer will listen to you if you give him advice. What was your second part of that question? What did I think of it?
Yeah, you said whose idea was it, but that you explained. And did you think it was a good idea? Did you enjoy the angle?
Not really, no. Yeah, there's a lot of issues with that angle. Not that it wasn't awful, it wasn't god awful, but it wasn't great. It wasn't through my career, I guess, if you want to call it a career as a booker.
Yeah.
Like there's things that I hang my hat on more than The Family from 2019, you know.
So our next event. Let me change the thing real quick. There's a lot of effort. I need to figure out a quicker way to do this.
It's
our next
taking
event.
5 seconds.
Yeah. Do I have the poster here for this?
I would hope so.
I think so. I can't see it, to be honest with you. I don't want to risk it and click.
By the way, for fans who have any questions, feel free to ask them.
Yeah, throw them in.
We'll
Was this
get
the
them.
one? No, that's the wrong one. Is it this one? No, that's the Steel City Showdown one.
That was the one we were just on.
That was the one we were just on. I'm not doing great. Yeah, there it is. There it is. A Night to Remember. So, A Night to Remember one occurs. Did you think that it had become the big event that it is today, where we've just passed A Night to Remember 4? Did anything go different in this event? Was there any kind of, I guess, extra treatment, or was it treated as a bigger event than any of the others?
So A Night to Remember is designed and always has been designed to be All Stars WrestleMania, I guess.
Yeah.
Most companies have a big event. That's our one. So we booked Orlando Jordan, Vulcan, and had a really strong local card.
Yeah.
So of course, like the local media started taking interest for the first time. Like I did a radio interview. I think Johnny Starr might have done one as well to hype this event. We're in the newspaper. The newspaper actually came and covered the event. So, yeah, it was treated differently by everyone involved, and the crowd was bigger than normal as well.
Yeah.
Not that it was huge, but there's about 130 people there. So, yeah, it was different. And did I think it was going to be what it is today? No.
Fair enough. So, hold on. We've got to run through the card.
Yes, run through the card.
So we are back at well, we're still at the Illawarra Leagues Club.
Yep.
The opener for the Ringside Addiction title.
Mhm.
I guess the third match in the trilogy. Johnny Starr defeats Tony Cruz.
Yeah, he won the trilogy.
Yeah, I watched that match recently. It's a great one.
Good.
Lee Moreau defeats El Jaguar.
It was a good match as well.
Jasmine Vittora, as she was known then, now Jasmine Brettle,
Yep.
defeats Azalea and Tali in what is the first women's match in All-Star history.
Mhm.
A tag team title contendership match. Keegan Brettle and Prince of Leon defeat Goran and Vinnie Bronson.
Such a random.
That's two very random teams.
Yes.
Uh,
To explain that, I think Dan Archer was injured, and like Goran happened to be down with us for an Orlando Jordan seminar,
Mhm.
so we used Goran there.
Jace Chalmers with Mr. Waterhouse defeats Phil Picasso. And here we go. Orlando Jordan defeats Hudson Hulk in what is his first appearance for All-Star.
appearance, yeah.
And then the main event, my favorite match in All-Star history, for the heavyweight title, a 3 levels of hate match,
Mhm.
where Blake Stone wins the title 2-1.
Wins it back, yeah.
He wins the first fall by submission. Kingston Eclipse then puts him in through a table for the second fall.
Yeah.
And then Blake Stone wins the last fall in the last man standing match.
Yeah, it was a good match.
Just quickly, why the 3 levels of hate?
You've asked this before, Bob.
I have, but just because we've got some newcomers in the chat. Why the 3 levels of hate? Why not 3 stages of hell?
We were trying not to turn children away from the show, so I've since dropped that. But there are people out there that would find the term hell offensive. That's why when Hell Yeah Works Wrestling Go, he's heck yeah.
Fair enough.
So probably not the best idea, but we were trying not to turn people off by promoting a match with a swear word in it, even though a very minor one.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It's not really even a swear word anymore.
No.
I feel like unless it's the F-bomb or the C-bomb, it's not really frowned upon.
Yeah.
Especially in this country.
Yeah.
Anyway, that doesn't matter. My opinions on swears.
So, former Gladiator star Vulcan appears for a rare non-BCW appearance.
Yes.
How did this come about?
I think we'd been renting the ring to Vulcan for 1 or 2 shows.
Mhm.
And there's a conversation going on out there. I'm confused.
Oh.
There was.
Wonder if they're talking about A Night to Remember 1 too.
Probably not.
Probably not.
So we were renting the ring to Vulcan, and I asked if he'd like to appear at A Night to Remember 1, a big event, and I figured we'd get some newspaper coverage, and there might be a few people out there that like to see Vulcan. I mean, he was a big TV star when I was a kid. You've probably never heard of him until your time in wrestling.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, well, he was a big TV star. He was in a James Bond movie and stuff.
That I know.
Yeah. So brought him in, and yeah, that's how it come about. He wanted to come in. He said, "Oh, the event is next to where my dentist used to be." He's like, "I know the street well." So he came in, and yeah, it was a nice guest to have.
Yeah. What did he do on the show? Did you kind of just?
He came out. He endorsed All Star, and then he got into a confrontation with Lee Morrow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Orlando Jordan also debuts at this event.
Yep.
In the semi-main event, defeating Hudson Honk. What were your first impressions of Orlando, and how did the deal come about?
Just reached out to him. For those that don't know, Orlando lives in Australia. Reached out to him, made a deal. He came in. First impressions, he's a nice guy. Like, no different impression to now. Just he's a little bit quieter because he didn't know me as much back then.
Yeah.
Now we got a little bit more rapport, but he's great, professional, good to have around. He held a seminar, so no complaints there.
The first ever women's match occurs here at A Night to Remember.
Yes.
Jasmine Brettle defeats Azalea and Tali in a triple threat match. Why these 3 women?
I think they were probably the 3 best women we had available to us at the time. Majority of women's wrestlers didn't really want to come down to Wollongong, I guess, for a promotion that wasn't as known.
Yeah.
So managed to get Jasmine, Azalea, and Tali, and from memory, they had a really good match. It's nice that Jasmine's there in the first ever women's match, and she's still
She's kind of women's champion.
Still the star of the division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we spoke about this last week and said we were going to touch on it. You ended up in hospital the next day.
Yeah.
How and why?
I think we touched on this on the pod before as well, but for the new people, I had a mad headache in my left temple.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks leading up. And I don't know if it was the stress of the event, because I was stressed. It's the first ever big event I booked and put on. First one that had some decent money put into it. But I had this headache and I just kept taking Nurofen, trying to get it to go away, and it would go away. And anyway, the day after, I woke up and I could barely move. I had this awful migraine, and they're like, we called Health Direct. Do you know them?
No.
They're like,
Are they like mobile doctors?
Mobile nurse. So you call them on the phone.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you what happened.
All right.
So I had my missus call because I was in no position to do anything.
Yeah.
And she gave him my symptoms, and they're like, he has meningitis. He could die. You need to take him to the hospital.
Wow.
So they had to unload the ring, my missus and her dad.
Wow.
And I went to the hospital. I was in the hospital for 13 hours. They did brain scans, and something lit up on the brain scan. And then there was all this discussion of, you have a brain tumor. No, this is genuine from doctors.
That's nuts.
They go, you have a brain tumor. You can't go to work. You can't do anything until you're cleared. And I'm like, fuck, I've got a brain tumor. And to be honest, I took it quite well. I don't know if I was in shock or whatever.
You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, well, fuck, I've got a brain tumor. I'll just figure out if it's actually there. And then you've got to go to a specialist and you go and get all these scans. And turns out I have a non-benign tumor on my pituitary gland. It's not cancerous or anything.
Right.
It's not a problem. You're born with it. It doesn't affect anything.
It's just there.
It's there. But it lit up. And that's what it was.
Right.
So the brain specialist goes, look, this isn't anything serious.
Is it what was causing the headaches, though?
No.
No.
He said, so I go to the specialist. He goes, oh, you might have just had a minor stroke. Were you stressed that week? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, it might have been just a minor stroke. Did you have this symptom, this symptom? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, probably a minor stroke. No worries. So I'm like, okay. He's like, come back in, I think it was 12 months for another scan.
Right.
And then I would have got to have paid him another $200. And I just never went back.
Right. So in what?
I've never had that experience again, but I was sick for a month with a migraine.
So in a small window of time, you were told you had a brain tumor and possibly a stroke.
They told me that I might have a brain tumor in the hospital that night.
Yeah.
They said you've got to go to a brain specialist ASAP and go get scanned.
Who then told you that, oh, you might have had a stroke, no biggie.
Yeah, the brain specialist said, well, good news is you don't have it. Well, he goes, you do have something in there, but it's non-benign.
Right.
It's on the pituitary gland. It's not a big deal. I go, well, what was it? He goes, well, were you stressed? I go, yeah. He goes, oh, it might have been a stroke. But look, to be honest, I don't think it was a stroke. I think it was probably related to stress and all that.
Yeah, right.
But old mate wanted to be sure, and I was kind of like, fuck that. So who knows what's going on in my brain now?
That's cooked.
I haven't had a migraine like that since, though. So
that's actually...
Fingers crossed. Knock on wood. That's plastic. Have we got wood? There we
go. We got wood.
We did.
Of course we have wood. Okay, next event.
It was very scary, though.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
Like, if someone tells you got a brain tumor, it's like, fuck. But I took it surprisingly well.
That is...
And I was confident I would have beaten it as well. I was like 26, 27.
Yeah, okay.
Not old like I am now.
Oh, sorry. Akel says, sorry to hear, bro. I'm having a cheeky stroke right now.
Akel's funny.
He is. I like it. So the next event, the machine rises.
Yeah.
Let me get the photo up here. Here it is.
So this was, I assume, after. Oh, that match on the screen. That match never happened, by the way.
Yeah, it was the only photo I could find.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. So
I guess El Jaguar had to pull out for whatever reason.
You're back at the Coonawarra Community Centre.
Yes. This was the last time there, I believe.
Nate Carlo defeats Alex Irvine. Banjo Powers defeats DB Robertson. A few names here that we haven't seen before. Phil Picasso defeats Ryan Miller. At the All-Star Heavyweight title street fight. Now, this is, again, what, third from the main? So this is what, coming out of intermission?
Probably just before intermission.
Okay.
I don't think I would have booked a street fight out of intermission.
Yeah. Then again, you had done something similar on a previous show.
Did I?
Yeah, on the 2018 show, you had, I don't know if it was a street fight, but it was a heavyweight title match. It was third from the main.
But you don't typically book a big violent match after intermission, straight after intermission at least. You build up to it.
Blake Stone, the champion, successfully defends against Zuzu the Clown.
Zuzu came down from Townsville for that.
Wow. Jace Chalmers with Mindy Meltdown and Mr. Waterhouse. Versus Keegan Brettle. Ends in a no contest.
Yeah.
Was that like a little blood feud that was going on there?
Yeah, you'll see later on, or it might be in your notes. They actually have a dog collar match down the line. So this was the start of a feud.
We've got some comments following here. Did Blake Stone hit the barricade with his Giga Chad Batten?
Oh, he had this big hammer thing he would walk around with. I don't think he hit the barricade with it though, but he smashed Kingston in the face with it. That was a night to remember one. Yeah,
right. The main event for the ringside addiction title, Johnny Starr successfully defends against Dean Draven.
It was a good match.
Yeah. So
probably the only good one on that card, to be honest.
The promoted main event was Blake Stone versus Hudson Hulk.
No, that was the event the month after.
All right, sorry, yes, too far down in my notes. Why the persistence with the Coonawarra Community Centre is what my question was.
As I mentioned before, it was just, it looked like an arena. We had some success there. When I say success, 70, 80 people. We're like, we could build this up. I thought we could build it up. Just couldn't. Happens sometimes, you try and build a place up and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Got to take that risk though. No risk, no reward, boss.
That's true. You got to risk it for the biscuit.
That's right.
So this is apparently considered the worst All-Star event ever by you.
It is, yeah.
Why? Like, we looked at the card. I've got it here so you can see.
So run through the card again, and I'll give my comment on each match.
The opener, Nate Carlo defeats Alex Irvine.
So Nate Carlo at that time, I don't even know if he wrestles anymore, but at that time he was a rookie. And Irvine might have been as well. Irvine is a little bit better than Carlo, but
I know Irvine had been down for like the tag team title tournament. Stuff like that.
But I think he was only 1 or 2 years in, so that's pretty much matches between two rookies.
Banjo Powers defeats DB Robertson.
2 rookies. They're Wrestle Strong Dojo rookies too.
Phil Picasso defeats Ryan Miller.
Ryan Miller, Wrestle Strong Dojo rookie.
Right.
With Birdman in there, I would say at least it would have been, entertaining because of him.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the match.
Blake Stone and Zuzu.
They just didn't mesh well.
Right.
Yeah.
Jace Chalmers and 2 managers versus Keegan Brettle. That sounds like it could have been decent.
I don't remember that match. Keegan probably carried him to a decent one, but nothing particularly memorable.
Johnny Starr, Dean Draven, you said.
That was, from memory, quite decent.
Yeah.
I don't think this show even exists on video either.
Oh, really?
So, even if I wanted to rewatch it, I'd have to figure out who has it and how I can get it.
So, our next show, the Cadell show. I've got this here in my screenshots somewhere.
I think it's Cadell.
Cadell.
I remember doing live commentary for that event.
Was this the next show? Hold on.
No, there was Rise of the Warriors.
That's right. I don't have. Oh, I skipped it. I don't have it on my thing.
You are ruining it with the graphics sheet.
I'm sorry, Chief. No. I'll fix it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there we go.
Where's the production?
Terrible. No production. There we go. Rise of the Warriors. Look, it's even bigger. So, let me.
This was another AV event, so I hope the Millennial Man isn't there.
So, the Rise of the Warriors, for those who don't know, do you want to explain what it is.
So it was a tournament that was hosted in Queensland by a promotion called PWA Queensland. Oh, my phone's ringing. Oh,
Was it anyone important?
it was an All-Star alumni.
Oh,
Yes.
wonder if they're watching the pod.
Oh, wait. Probably watching the pod laughing. Rise of the Warriors. It was a tournament that was held by PWA Queensland. AV, who is the Millennial Man.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah, he bought PWA Queensland, and he kind of, I guess, paid people to host the tournament for a number of years, and I think we got paid to do the tournament. And I was happy to. I'm always happy to do a historic event. When I was a kid, the Rise of the Warriors was pretty good. So, yeah.
So is it kind of like a King of the Ring kind of vibe?
Kind of, yeah. Just a basic stock standard tournament.
So this entire card was the tournament plus a heavyweight title match.
There would have been a Birdman match too.
Yes, there was. Sorry, yes, no, there was. Yeah. So Rise of the Warriors quarterfinal. Dean Draven defeats his former tag team partner El Jaguar.
Yeah, they were feuding.
All right. Another quarterfinal. DB Robertson defeats Vinnie Bronson with Dan Archer.
Yeah, that was just to appease the Wrestle Strong Dojo. Sorry, Dan.
Right.
Dan deserves better.
Well, it was Vinnie Bronson that he defeated.
Oh, Vinnie deserved better too.
Yeah. Singles match. Jace Chalmers with Mindy Meltdown. No, Mr. Waterhouse defeats Phil Picasso.
I wonder where Mr. Waterhouse was that day.
Another quarterfinal. Keegan Brettle defeats Tony Cruz.
That was a good match. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they wrestled at the last show, and that was a pretty decent match as well.
I think the match last show was better.
Yeah.
But I remember this one was quite good too.
Another quarterfinal. Johnny Starr defeats Dan Archer.
I don't remember that, but that sounds very good on paper.
Dean Draven defeats DB Robertson in a semi-final.
Yeah.
Keegan Brettle defeats Johnny Starr in a semi-final.
That was a good match too.
Yeah.
Very good.
And then in the final, Keegan Brettle defeats Dean Draven to win the Rise of the Warriors.
It was short, but it was good.
And then the main event for the heavyweight title, Kingston Eclipse defeats Blake Stone to regain the heavyweight title.
Yeah.
So, where are we? Here we go. 3 weeks later, from
The
Machine Rises.
Yeah.
That's right. Back at the Illawarra Leagues Club.
Yep.
The event was promoted as Blake Stone versus Hudson Hulk for the main event.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Why didn't Hudson Hulk turn up? Where was he?
From memory, Hudson messaged me the day before saying that he wasn't going to make it because he was actually rostered on at work and he didn't know about it.
Oh.
So there was some thoughts, and I'm not going to, decide one way or the other. There's some thoughts that might have been made up, might have been fabricated. So we didn't book Hudson Hulk again after that.
So the Rise of the Warriors. This was the 13th annual tournament?
It was.
Was it annual at that point?
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to name all of them, but it was pretty, 2018 they did one.
Yeah.
That was 2008 or 2007 was the first one.
I guess.
So maybe they I don't know. Is that 13 years? 2007? No, it would have been 11.
Yeah. Maybe my notes were off.
I don't know.
So Keegan Brettle won this tournament.
Yeah.
What?
He wasn't supposed to win it.
Oh, really?
It's meant to be Kingston Eclipse.
Oh.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Okay.
So we hot-shotted a title change to send the fans home happy.
Right. Fair enough.
Not always the best option.
Nonetheless, so look at the heights that Keegan has reached. I think that's a very
Well, he didn't get the title hot-shotted onto him. It was Kingston.
No, I mean the tournament.
Yeah.
You look at what Keegan has become. It's a pretty prestigious name to have on the list of tournament.
I don't think Keegan views it as a big thing for him. But
I think it's more of a big thing for the tournament having Keegan Brettle win it.
I think Chris Hero won it.
Oh wow!
Mason Childs won it. I think a bunch of good Queensland wrestlers won it. There'd be other notable winners as well, but Keegan would definitely be up there.
Right.
And yeah, it was kind of the start of his big push in All Star. You can look to that as the start.
Sorry, I'm just looking at all. I'm doing a quick scroll through all these comments.
Let's go through them before. Well, let's finish this show, then we'll go through the comments.
Yeah.
So if you've got a comment, make it, and we'll respond.
On the event, Kingston Eclipse returns for the first time since April.
Yes.
Jumping Blake Stone to start the event and winning the championship in the main event due to mass interference.
Yeah, and there was 6 people that attacked Blake Stone.
And this was also the last time we see Blake Stone.
Yeah.
Why was that?
To be honest, I don't think he was happy with the way he lost the belt, and I don't think he was happy with the reign. Man, look, he's right to feel that way. It sucked for him, but it was what it was, I would have liked to have seen him come back. He was booked to come back a couple of times, so I guess it is water under the bridge. But yeah, nothing too serious. He wasn't throwing chairs and wanting to punch on or anything. It was just what it was, and he was unhappy with it, and rightfully so.
These comments are just.
Is that the end of this show, Box?
I believe so. Yeah.
All right, let's go through the questions.
I scrolled up a little bit too far. So there are no questions. However,
all right, we'll just display the comments and we'll comment.
Puppet, would you wrestle the Maitland legend known as the Swooper?
I know the Swooper.
Yeah, I know the Swooper.
Puppet doesn't want to do that.
The zoo which we call home. Bah ha 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 ha. Birdman versus Puppet. Lol.
It would be a banger.
Yeah. That was Akel's cheeky stroke comment. Over the puppeteer, surely, says Mitchell Burns. Did Blake Stone hit? Yeah, we mentioned the giant hammer. Mr. Drunk Monkey says, surprise the heavyweight title wasn't on last. That was the show we were talking about earlier with Johnny Starr and the ringside addiction main eventing. The Zoo says, new stable, Mitchell Burns, Akel, puppeteer, fly guy. What do you reckon? The new family. The family 2.0.
Akel, puppeteer, fly guy.
Yeah.
Be interesting, I give you that.
New stable, Birdman, puppeteer, Mitchell Burns, Akel, fly guy, Nan, and B-boy.
Right.
Mitchell Burns says, yeah, Nana. Akel says, Phil Picasso, Ryan Miller, what a mismatch. Would have picked the little boy up by his red bubble tights and Aussie Biff the dog. Richard Burns says, big ups to Nan. Ring announcer Phil says, I forgot Ryan Miller existed. Wow.
Shout out to Ryan Miller.
Akel says, can we do an angle where you book the old events again, but Puppet goes back in time and starts going over in all the mains and changes the history of All-Star Wrestling?
Wow. Now that's a creative idea that I need.
I like that.
Was that from Akel?
That was.
Akel, if you'd like to join the All-Star creative team, send 2 of your best ideas and wrestling resume to office@allstarwrestling.australia.com.au.
That's incredible. Last I saw him at the Red Cow Penrith on the Thursday night karaoke, bragging about how good a wrestler he was. I think this was like 2019, says ring announcer Phil, in reference to Ryan Miller.
I can tell you that Ryan Miller was not a good wrestler in 2019.
Puppet is a future heavyweight champ. Give it time. Watch this space.
Fucking hell.
Real Biff hard hits, says
so much puppeteer loving.
Yeah, bring back the Biff. DB Robinson was criminally underrated.
I disagree.
Last I heard, Blake Stone was a manager at Best and Less in Lamia.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I heard he was a personal trainer.
Mitchell Burns says, I heard Cole's prices went down. Akel says, don't let the politicians drag you down, Mitch. You're a real one.
Thank you, Chief.
2-for-1 on battens.
These are inside jokes about Blake Stone that I don't know
The
about.
zoo which we call home. I like what Phil said. Okay, Akel, W and the puppet against.
Who's W?
Maybe he meant you. I don't know.
Oh, you and the puppet, yeah.
Against any international, who you're picking? Why aren't you booking Kid Valiant? Heat there?
Just don't think Kid Valiant's good enough for All Star. Have you seen Kid Valiant?
I've seen like a couple things, and I think he's a poor man's Aries.
Well, you said it, not me.
Puppet all day. Puppet over Blake Stone strong. Ring announcer Phil says, "What's your go-to karaoke song, lads?"
I don't do karaoke.
Yeah.
You're a musician. You
Yeah, but I don't do karaoke.
can't sing well.
The zoo says, "Ha ha 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 ha." Akel time travel storyline. Fucking oath.
Like, would it be the puppet is like Blake Stone?
I guess so.
So we'd rebook it, and like Puppeteer would win a tournament to become the first All Star champion.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I rate that.
We just need to find a way to get the Illawarra Leagues Club on board.
And the Coonawarra Community
Hey,
Centre.
so the Coonawarra Community Centre have it back easy.
Yeah, right.
Illawarra Leagues is the issue. We just pitch it to them. Hey, we got a storyline. Wrestler's going to go back in time. It's going to be amazing.
So the Cadal show.
He's got
Coodle.
green hair.
And wears purple undies to the ring. And he's got a puppet with him.
And he wears torn shorts to training.
Yeah. That's true.
Kudal or Cuddle, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever. This is 5 weeks after the Rise of the Warriors tournament. Jace Chalmers, Johnny Starr, Birdman, and Shane Saul head out for the first ever All-Star Agricultural Show. Should we run through the card first?
Let's do it. I think I remember it though.
There was 3 matches.
Yeah.
Birdman defeats Shane Saul. Jace Chalmers defeats Johnny Starr by DQ. So Johnny Starr retains the ringside addiction title.
Yeah, because Jace Chalmers was undefeated at the time.
Right. And the main event, Johnny Starr and Phil Picasso in a tag team match defeat Jace Chalmers and Shane Saul. Johnny Starr has teamed with the Birdman quite a few times.
It's just a classic spot show booking there. 4 guys, 3 matches. Easy.
So going regional with the Birdman, and I guess the rest of the group, but the Birdman, what was that like?
Didn't travel with him.
Really?
Put my missus in the car with him.
You did not.
Yeah,
You did not do that.
Yeah, I did. I went in the car with Johnny Starr, Jimmy the Ref. I think that was it.
No special man, Jace?
Nah, he's not. Doesn't do spot shows.
Yeah. Too good for us, huh?
You said it, not me.
Yeah, what was it like? Well, I mean, what was the experience like? Because obviously it wouldn't have been your first.
It wasn't my first.
You've done regional shows.
Yeah.
But what was it like, I guess, being the first agricultural show as a booker?
I just booked it the way that I'd learned to book agriculturals from watching them in the past. In terms of the experience, from memory, Johnny Starr got drunk and started messaging wrestling idols.
Oh, yes, I've heard this story. The
Rock and Stone Cold.
And his personal favorite, Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, but I think he said to Stone Cold, he goes, "Hey, we're both wrestlers and we're both bald. We've got so much." I'm like, fuck, that's funny as. Jace Chalmers, I think he's just watching footy.
I was going to say, you know what they don't have in common?
What's that?
Stone Cold's never won the ringside addiction title.
It's true. And Birdman, in typical Birdman fashion, is just having a slap at the Cowra RSL club, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Probably a hotel, from the Cowra Hotel. Sounds like
And that was a club.
Oh, it was a club.
Yeah, and he was having a slap. And the show, it was boiling hot.
I'll bet. We've got a few comments here. Mitchell Burns says, "You're in Akel, hitting the big time." Now that
he's on the creative team.
Yeah. Here we go. B-Boy says, "What made you decide to book B-Boy for the first time?"
Oh, that's coming on our 2021 episode.
Okay. Stay tuned for next week. And I guess we'll find out.
We should answer that.
We should.
He is a friend.
He is a friend.
The promotion in the show.
Wrestling Otis this Saturday night.
That's right.
Yeah.
The iconic Pat Star.
Yeah, iconic. Yeah.
We're coming out of COVID. I'd heard good things, great things about B-Boy.
Yeah.
From Keegan. Said he's a great character for the kids, great wrestler. And I'm like, well, we need a great character and a great wrestler for the kids. So let's give him a go. And he had a match at, I think it was the second Padstow show or maybe the first one. And he's been part of the crew ever since. A great member of the crew, and can't say enough good things about B-Boy.
What a guy.
Yeah.
I love it. Or what a boy, I guess. Big boy. Yeah.
Guy, boy.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Well, he's not B-man or B-guy. There's Fly Guy. I don't know. Anyway. Akel says, huge. Coonawarra Community Centre off its head.
Mm-hmm.
Mitchell Burns says, B-Boy, best looking wrestler in New South Wales, obviously.
I agree.
Yeah, so do I. The Mr. Drunk Monkey says, sounds like something old school. Chikara would do time travel wrestling shenanigans.
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah. I think they did do a storyline like that.
The Zoo says, B-Boy over his fight.
He is, yeah. You can't argue that.
Ring announcer Phil says, Dance and Dave versus MJ in a Who's Got the Better Moonwalk.
Dance and Dave versus Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
I think Dance and Dave would win that one since Michael Jackson's been dead for like a decade.
Stick to the ring announcer Phil.
Rap.
Yeah. Southie says, will All Star be putting shows online so people can watch them?
We do. If you go to the YouTube channel, there's it's about 45 minutes to an hour of highlights for every show. We do extended highlights, so check them out. We will do full shows eventually when there's enough demand for it where we can monetize it.
AKL says, someone book Kiss Steele and John Whelan more. What a stud. You could cut carrots with that sharp jawline.
Kiss Steele and John Whelan has worked all star before.
Yeah. Puss magnet, he says.
Wow.
Yeah. I agree. Kiss Steele and John Whelan's a good
Getting a little bit R-rated here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Shit. Oh. The Zoo says definitely MJ. He doesn't think Dance and Dave is a better moonwalk.
Well, we're talking current MJ or past MJ? Look, past MJ, it's no contest. He had the better moonwalk. But as I just referenced, Michael Jackson's dead. Why is that funny, Box?
You're so cooked.
Hold yourself together.
You're cooked. You are
We're doing a
fried, chick. You are fried. Yeah, okay.
It's a fair point. MJ's not moonwalking anymore.
Yep. Mitchell Burns says, leave some for the rest of us, John. Southie says, thoughts on the NRL draw for next season? And this is when our viewers drop.
I haven't checked the Roosters one that heavily. I just heard that we've got the second best.
Yeah. So no excuses when you choke on a bag of dicks next year.
We're going to win the comp.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. But all I know is Newcastle for the spoon.
So download this pod, cut it. The Roosters will win the comp. And if the Roosters don't win the comp next year, 2024, every single fan at the iconic Padstow RSL club gets to chop this guy.
I'm deleting that bit. Okay, now ring announcer Phil is talking about Pokemon. Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle? Who's your pick? I'm a Squirtle guy.
Charmander was the cutest. I don't know. It's been a long time. I think I was a Squirtle, Charmander guy. Wasn't much of a Bulbasaur guy.
Yeah, I'm a Squirtle guy.
Bulbasaur's cute as well. They're all cute.
Southie says Newcastle got a solid start. Nah, I don't care, to be honest.
You're a para guy.
Yeah, I am. As up the mighty Parramatta Eels. Why do you think our logo is blue and yellow, Chief? Never noticed.
Thought about that.
Yeah. Anyway, Akel says thoughts on Gilbert.
Who's Gilbert?
B-Boy says Paul Gilbert. Who's Gilbert?
I know.
Ring announcer Phil says Edwards is a better fullback than Tedesco. Mitch comment. You have to agree there.
I think Edwards is more consistent.
I think Gutho is better than all of them.
Nah.
Sorry, I can't even say that with a
Gutho's
straight
better
face.
than none of them.
Listen here, mate. All right, our next show. We're getting a bit off track here.
It's all right. We are men of the people.
We are. Aha. Our next show. Clash of the Titans. I said that to you earlier. We should bring that show name back. I like it.
Clash of the Titans.
Yeah. You like it?
It's all right.
You named it. So, did you name that?
Probably.
Yeah. Phil
I
Picasso.
do name most of the show.
Yeah. See, look, the comments are flying in again.
It's all right. We'll do one show, do the comments.
Yeah, okay. Phil Picasso defeats Jack Zimmer in the opener in an all-star tag team title gauntlet match for the vacant titles. We'll get into that. The Vagrant Boys, which is Dan Archer and Vinnie Bronson, defeat Banjo Powers and Ryan Miller, Chris Rucker and Goran, and DB Robertson and Shane Saw.
Yeah, I don't think the Vagrant Boys managed to save that one, to be honest.
Tony Cruz, with the returning Mr. Waterhouse, defeats the Misfit.
You love Mr. Waterhouse.
I do.
It's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jace Chalmers defeats Johnny Starr to win the Ringside Addiction title. Wow.
Sure.
Nikki Petite defeats Jasmine Vittora, who is now Jasmine Brettle.
Mm-hmm.
El Jaguar defeats Dean Draven. And Kingston Eclipse defends the All-Star Heavyweight title against Keegan Brettle.
Yeah, I think from memory, this show was pretty stinky as well.
Really?
Yeah. Like, you think Keegan Kingston on paper would be great, but in this occasion, it wasn't. The two matches they had after that were heaps better. I think match of the night for that one, from memory, was Draven and El Jag.
Yeah, right. So, Vagrant Boys, consisting of Dan Archer and Vinnie Bronson, win the vacated All-Star Tag Team titles. Thoughts, comments, feelings, opinions
On
the match? And
I don't remember the match.
Oh, fair enough.
I remember it wasn't good.
Okay.
I don't think that would have been because of the Vagrant Boys.
Yeah, well, I mean, the rest of the names in that match seemed like guys that you weren't like necessarily a huge fan of, or rookies, or whatever.
I liked Goran enough to put the tag title on him.
Oh, that's right. No, Goran and Chris Rucker were in that. Yeah,
Chris Rucker, he was okay. The rest of Strong Dojo rookies, it was a bad thing.
Why were the tag titles vacated?
I don't remember. I think Morrow left for some reason and Villalobos left for some reason. I don't remember why. Wouldn't have been too serious.
Yeah.
But they were vacated and the Vagrant Boys won, and it was nice.
Yeah.
They've been around since show 2.
Yeah.
And they deserve their run.
Jace Chalmers defeated Johnny Starr with the Ringside Addiction title. Now, this had some controversy around it. Also, I've heard from some sources.
This is another AV story.
Yeah, why was it so controversial?
AV didn't want Chalmers to lose the belt. Oh, no, sorry.
Starr.
AV didn't want Starr to lose the belt to Chalmers.
Right.
And I'm like, well, he's got to lose because I don't want to keep booking this championship. We want it out. To the point that we did a practical joking poodle to try and give the picture that we didn't want it anymore.
All right.
But yeah, we just booked Jace Chalmers to win it without AV's knowledge.
Oh.
He got upset, which is fair, I guess.
Yeah.
But we did tell him though. We said we don't want anything to do with this anymore, and if you're not gonna, organize a change, then we're gonna do one, and we did. And then Jace Chalmers won it, and then he immediately vacated it.
Yeah, right. So this next question is going to be a bit of a, I don't know if it's going to be a hot topic, but between this event and the November event, All-Star Wrestling Australia agrees to a deal with Kingdom Wrestling Entertainment in Maitland.
Oh, this won't be a heated topic.
Not much ever happened with this deal. Can you explain what was meant to happen, how it occurred, and why whatever was meant to happen didn't occur?
It's just meant to be, a lot of promotions go, hey, look, we're on the same page. We'll work together. We won't run the same dates. I've had these agreements with 1,000 places. They never work out.
Right.
I've had it with AWS. I had it with Kingdom. I had it with Wrestle Strong Dojo. I had it with Vulcan. I had it with everyone. Never works. We were also meant to share Chris Masters, who was meant to come out the year later.
Yeah, we spoke about that earlier.
Yeah, that didn't happen due to COVID. But I think they were going to have some all-star title defenses up there. We were going to have some Kingdom title defenses down here, but nothing major really. So that's what was meant to happen.
All right, here we go. Thoughts on Big Mad Max Ramirez? We saw him at the last Go show.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough of him to say how I feel. I think that's the only match of his I've actually seen.
Yeah.
And it was a fatal four-way.
Yes.
Yeah, not the best way to judge someone.
Thoughts on Mongo never being a world champion? # justice for Mongo.
Mongo McMichael. He's never good enough to be a world champion.
He asked for the lunch my mum packed for me, and I was so scared I gave it to him.
Mad Max.
I don't know. Maybe Mongo. Maybe Gilbert.
A lot of random names flying.
Ring announcer Phil says, "You popped me with the banter, boys. Appreciate your work." I assume that's with the footy banter. That wasn't really banter, though. Except for the fact that I said the Roosters are going to eat a bag of dicks.
Well, fuck the Eels box. There you go. There's some banter for you, right?
It's all right. We have a report. Akel says, "Platinum players versus Incognito and a time-traveling puppeteer."
Wow. That's a very old reference. It's like 07 AWF reference.
Right. Mitchell Burns says, "Thoughts on Akel? Bit of a prick, if you ask me." He's been the life of the comment section today, I think.
Yeah, I like Akel.
Yeah, what a guy.
I went on tour with Akel.
He's got a great name too.
I went on tour with Akel, and he's the life of the party.
Is he?
Terrible snorer though.
You hear that, Akel? You snore.
So do I.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
His like war moving.
Yeah.
That's what I remember most about Akel on tour.
B-Boy says, "I genuinely enjoyed watching the Vagrant Boys." Akel says, "Preferred milk: soy, almond, full cream, or Muzdog's foreskin extract."
Oh, not the last one.
Yeah.
Next question.
Next question. Thoughts on the Trigmeister?
I don't like him.
Thoughts on the new king of Aussie Biffo, Joey Ferrugia? The new king of Aussie Biffo? I didn't know that.
Is that his new ring now?
I don't know. That'd be pretty funny, though.
Like Birdman's past that one.
Yeah.
Mate, you're the new king of Aussie Biffo. I like Joey. He's cool.
Yeah. Zoo says, "Trigmeister and 5-Star Flash are both on my Mount Rushmore."
Wow.
Right, on next show.
The disrespect.
Yeah, the disrespect.
I'm not sure who is disrespecting more, though. I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
I don't want to beat 5 up. Done that enough on this pod. Got to leave him alone now.
So, Southern Coast Survival, the last event of 2019.
It's a very historic event, and I think you mentioned before that it was your birthday.
Yeah, it was my 14th birthday.
There you go, I'm old man.
You are. Piece of shit. So
it's all right. We've got a report.
Was this the last Wollongong event?
Was, yeah.
Wow. The opening match, Dean Draven defeats Banjo Powers.
Yeah.
For the Kingdom Elite title, Grant Lindstrom defends against Phil Picasso.
There's stories about both of those matches.
Right.
Yeah, keep going.
The All-Star Tag Team title, 3-on-2 handicap match.
Yeah.
Jack Zimmer and the Vagrant Boys defeat Banks and Goran by DQ.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Here you go.
Banks was a member of Domination for a show.
Right. Dog collar death match.
We referenced this before.
We did.
Yeah.
That's why we have the dog collar somewhere. Keegan Brettle defeats Jace Chalmers.
Yeah. It was Jace Chalmers' first loss.
A tag team match. I think I've seen this match too. Jasmine Brettle and Johnny Starr defeat Nikki Petite and Tony Cruz.
Yeah.
And the main event, a singles match. Minoru Tanaka defeats Kingston Eclipse. Non-title.
Unable to be a title match due to Tanaka's commitments in Japan.
Right.
He was with Pro Wrestling Noah at the time.
So the Kingdom title is defended, or the Elite title is defended on this event, with Birdman and Grant Lindstrom competing for the title. Midway through the match, both wrestlers start shooting on each other.
Yes.
Why did this occur?
Well, it's funny. I don't think Birdman was in the wrong. Birdman, he loves to give a chop, as you may know,
Mm.
and as our audience may know. He was giving Grant chops. Grant apparently said, if you chop me again, I'm going to kick your ass. Birdman didn't take kindly to that.
So he chopped him again?
So they started shooting on each other.
Oh, right.
And then they got it together and they finished up the match. And Birdman was calling Lindstrom names. And Lindstrom was trying to be a pro because it was his first night in the company. And I think they've still got problems to this day. I'm not 100% sure, but I saw something recently.
I'll have to check the Birdman's Facebook.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
So,
Fuck Grant Lindstrom. Piece of shit, mate.
Japanese wrestling legend Minoru Tanaka wrestles in the main event, defeating Kingston Eclipse. How did the deal with Tanaka come about?
Through Ryan Fujiwara, who we mentioned last week.
Yeah.
I said, oh, look, we'd really like to use a guy that's well known in Japan.
Mm.
And he's like, oh, what about this guy? What about this guy? And we agreed on Minoru Tanaka. He was the GHC junior heavyweight champion at the time. Then he lost it before he turned up. But he was a pretty big deal. Well, is a pretty big deal in Japan. The second Japanese junior Triple Crown, which means he won All Japan Junior, IWGP Junior, and GHC Junior.
Wow.
So he was a big guest to have. Would have much preferred to have that match at Padstow, but it is what it is, you know?
What was my next question? So this was the last Wollongong event. You said before that it's probably not likely that you'll ever go back.
I will if someone wants us there and is willing to pay, then yes. But I'd never take the financial risk on Wollongong again.
Why do you hate the Gong? Are you a Grinch?
I don't hate the Gong.
Are you sure?
People think I hate the Gong. The Gong has just never supported anything I've done, really. And my life is...
That's where the dragons are based too. Gross.
Wow. My neighbor is... My ex-neighbor when I was a kid growing up. He was like integrated in the Dragons legacy.
Oh, right.
Former head coach to the Dragons. So I don't hate the Dragons.
Fair enough.
Great team, by the way.
Gross. What are your favorite memories from the Wollongong years?
I think the Wollongong years were a simpler time.
Mm.
Like there was less stress, less pressure. Like now, like you look at our shows, it's 10 of you that come here and load the ring up. We're managing anywhere from 20 to 30 people on the staff and the wrestlers. Shows are in front of much bigger people. We're more under the microscope now because we're more known. So if we fuck up, people are going to talk about it. As opposed to Wollongong, you fuck up, it's not a big deal. That's just how it was. We weren't known. Yeah?
Yeah, fair enough.
Nobody gave a fuck about us. There was 70 to 80 people that come out every week, or every month to come and see us in Wollongong.
Yeah.
And that was it. There was no reports online. There was no negativity.
Back then, was it more casual fans, or did you have like regulars that came along to?
No, they were regulars, but they were regular casuals, if that makes sense. So they weren't the types that were on the internet.
Okay, yeah.
But they were people that saw a poster or saw a Facebook ad and they're like, oh, we'll give this a try. They got attached to the characters, similar to what we got now in Padstow.
Yeah.
And a few of the fans love the product so much that they still support us in Padstow to this day. There's a fan named Tommy.
Yeah.
Been a fan of All Star for like 5 years.
Mm.
He comes to the majority of the shows, and I know he attends Wrestling Go as well, and he'll support any All Star guys. And it's great to have fans like that. And yeah, you do get maybe 10 to 15 ticket purchases each show from old Wollongong fans. So they're still around, still supporting it, which is amazing.
Do you think that Wollongong was the right start, or do you think that a Sydney start would have been better?
I think in Sydney there would have been more risk.
Okay.
Because like building in Wollongong was 1/5 of the price of what I pay now just for building hire.
Yeah, right.
I think Wollongong was necessary to work out the kinks and get ready for Sydney.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets from Wollongong?
Yeah, a lot.
Give us like a top 3 or something.
A lot of the talent we used weren't up to scratch.
Right.
Like a lot of the guys you mentioned today, it's like, I won't mention names, but it's like, they're part of this all-star legacy. Do they really deserve to be?
Yeah.
Kunawara, probably a regret because we did sink some money into that for very little return.
Yeah.
They'd probably be my 2 biggest ones. I don't think I've got a third that's big. But I don't regret leaving. I think it was the right time to make the move, and I think we've done well.
Yeah, so do I.
Very well, yeah.
We've got a semi-successful podcast with Alex Box as well. Well, that covers 2019. Next week, we're going to talk about. We're going to lump 2 years in one. We're going to lump in 2020 and 2021 together, the COVID years, because there was only 2 shows in 2020, I believe.
There was a lot of shit that got cancelled in 2020 that is interesting though that we'll go through because a lot of it has never been publicly revealed.
Yeah, well, we're gonna talk about the transition to Sydney. We're gonna talk about the cancelled A Night to Remember 2, and then the actual A Night to Remember 2.
Yeah, they're both in that time period. Yeah.
So there's a lot to talk about, and tune in next week to see. We're not ending the podcast yet. We still have another 15 minutes.
That's right.
But that wraps up 2019. We've got some questions flowing through here, so
let's answer. And on this podcast, we don't stop till the questions stop, so keep them coming.
That's true. That's
Fox
true. We'll go 3 hours. Yeah.
Fox will be here till 10 p.m. if you need him to.
Akel says Grant was too scared to foot race me at Gosford Racetrack. Please confirm this, Mitch.
I can confirm. Yeah.
Right. Mitchell Burns says I heard you have to pay Puppet extra to not shoot and win every match he's in. Any truth to it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Maitland brothers are part of the Tea Party.
I think that means Birdman doesn't like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The Zoo says bah ha 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 ha, Tea Party lol and teapot drops. Ring announcer Phil says to Mitch, best Pearl Jam song.
Even Flow.
Phil, you have some random questions, bro.
I'm not a big Pearl Jam fan though. I don't know where you got that from.
Yeah.
But I do like Even Flow.
B-Boy says, who would you choose to face Minoru Tanaka if you were to have him back? Only one answer allowed per person. So I guess one for me.
Are you familiar with Minoru Tanaka?
Not really, no.
Well, he's a great, junior technical wrestler.
I'd pick B-Boy then.
That's because he asked the question.
And that's damn right. Because
pick someone that's not B-Boy.
Aries.
Maybe
even Keegan. Oh, see, he said one answer per person.
I'll go Keegan.
I'm going Aries.
But there's a lot of good choices like Morgan Rose, Otis,
Johnny Starr,
Mike Valuable, J Law. It's just majority of the roster could probably have a good match with Minoru Tanaka.
Yeah,
which is a credit to both the roster and Tanaka himself.
The Snitch and Alex show. Beers at Padstow tonight? ?
Snitch. Me?
Yeah.
What did I snitch about?
I don't know. Hey, Kel, what did he snitch about, Chief?
Fox can't have beers. He's too young.
Doug says, do you regret booking the Analingus showdown between Adrian Adonis and John Tenter? I'm not familiar. The Zoo, which we call home, says Mitchell Burns has a point. Theory could be true. I assume that's about
Puppeteer being paid to lose.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Akel says everyone's got to start somewhere. Everything's a learning lesson. I mean, look at my hero, the Kid Leroy.
Not familiar with that.
Aren't you?
No. I know the name.
It's a whole story.
Not familiar with the group.
Ring announcer Phil says best live gig you went to. Oh, Kendrick Lamar was pretty decent.
Never been to a concert.
Really?
Yeah.
Best live gig Mitch ever went to was A Night to Remember 3.
Yeah.
David Bullock says next week sounds very intriguing. Doug says you have the Golden Girls in a bra and panties match. Who wins and why?
I don't know.
This is for you, Chief.
No, that's past my. I'm only early 30s, not 60s.
Your grey hair says different. Yeah,
all right.
Well, that I guess we'll wrap that up and go into what I had planned for the last 15 minutes, and that is the predictions. Our predictions for this Saturday night, live at the iconic Padstow RSL.
Is it really fair for me to make predictions when I'm the book of box?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
How about you predict?
All right. I'm going to start off hot. Aries and Tony Cruz, the Eastern States title. I love Aries. Tony Cruz he outsmarted Keegan Brettle.
He outsmarted him, but he didn't. Did he really beat him? Like technically, yeah, but I mean, he won via Jasmine slapping him.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Well, a win's a win. He outsmarted
True.
him.
I mean, forever in the All-Star record books.
When we look back at
over there,
when we look back at on Cage Match in 20 years,
it'll say
it's gonna say Tony Cruz defeats Keegan Brettle by disqualification.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it's the fairest way to win, but he did get the job done. And you saying you think you'll beat Aries?
I'm gonna have to.
Hmm.
But then again, it's Aries. Let me get back to that one.
Champion.
Let me get back to that one. Jack Dullahan and J-Law. I've got to go Jack Dullahan.
Yeah, he's been undefeated for almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
Although, look, J-Law, 20-year veteran, former Australian heavyweight champion. I mean, wrestled in Japan, wrestled in the USA, trained a lot of great wrestlers that are in All-Star. Brettles, Dullahan himself, Puppeteers, partially, Caesar. Feel like I'm missing others as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I've still got to go Dullahan. He's on a rampage at the moment. You could put Jack Dullahan against Orlando Jordan this Saturday, and I genuinely would not know who to pick.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Jay Sorbet against the man from the UK, I believe. Yeah, Reese Alexios.
Yep.
I'm going my man Jay Sorbet.
Going Jay Sorbet.
I'm going Jay Sorbet. What a guy. I love him.
Now, when we first found out about it, it's a different story. Yeah, look, fingers crossed for a Jay Sorbet win.
B-Boy versus Otis. I've got to go for my good friend B-Boy.
B-Boy's been on a roll.
He hasn't
lost a Padstow match since, what is it, May? Or did he lose in May? He won on a Night to Remember.
He's won every match since a Night to Remember, I believe.
Yeah. And, like, I feel like B-Boy and Caesar, they're going to get the better of without wanting at some point. Will it be this Saturday? Who knows?
Does Morgan Rose appear from wherever he's from?
I don't know. I looked at that video and...
Yeah, he said don't call him.
Yeah.
What a dick.
Just trying to see if you're coming to the show, Chief.
Now, a huge match here. Xena?
Kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah, we touched on how that came about. Xena and Jayla J against the All-Star Women's Champion Jasmine Brettle and Katie Forbes.
From the US.
Mrs. Van Dam.
So you say that like it's the only thing to...
No. It's what is it? How many million followers on social media?
Well, I don't know how many followers she's got, but you look at... If you search her name on YouTube alone, but the first 2 or 3 videos, there's over 200 million hits. Now, I don't know about you, Box, but have you ever been in anything with over even 1 million views? No,
I haven't.
This podcast isn't getting 1 million views.
No, we're sitting at 6 at the moment.
That's right. So you got to respect the lady that's got hundreds of millions.
Oh, 100%. And she wrestled in Impact Wrestling, which is no easy feat.
But you also got to look at the other team. You got Xena. She wrestled for Stardom.
That's true.
And Jayla has a lot of experience against some top-tier competitors.
And they do have some tag team chemistry. They have teamed before.
They do, yeah. And Katie and Jazz have never teamed.
But Jasmine's the All-Star Women's Champion.
That's right, but that means she's successful in singles action, not tag team action. So it's going to be interesting, Box.
I'm going Jasmine and Katie, just because I love Jasmine Brettle. She's my wrestling mum.
She's your wrestling mum.
She's my wrestling mum.
Yeah.
So I got to go Jasmine Brettle.
There you go.
We talked about who we think will open. Answer the open challenge. Who do you think it'll be?
Well, it comes down to the students.
Mm-hmm.
I do not think it will be you, Alex Box.
No.
You just don't have experience yet.
You're a piece of shit.
Well, I'm sorry. But a couple matches in Narendra doesn't mean you go face a New Japan Young Lion. For me,
Sorry, Chick.
it's between Dancing Dave, Puppeteer, and the student that is an active wrestler that we've never announced here on the pod, who could be a surprise in waiting.
So I believe we've got 2 matches left to predict. The tag team grudge match between Mike Valuable and Johnny Star, the Belief, taking on Hell Yeah and Wes Williams.
Now, one involves your trainer,
and the other involves
friends of yours.
Yeah. I don't know. After the way Johnny Star and Mike Valuable came waltzing in here the other week when I was trying to prepare for an interview with them.
Yeah, they were very rude to you.
Shoved a shirt on my head. I'm going Hell Yeah and Wes. I hope they kick their asses.
Now, here's the question that's on the lips of a lot of people. I want your opinion, Box. You're a journalist.
I am.
You're our little journalist here. Do you think Hell Yeah deliberately kicked Wes in the head?
Look, I've known Hell Yeah for about a year now,
Yeah.
and I've spoken to him in depth multiple times on
about this.
No, not about this. About multiple things. And I know the type of guy he is. He's a genuine, loving guy who cares about his friends. But if you cross him, he'll kick your ass.
So you saying Wes might have crossed Hell Yeah?
No. I think it was an accident. I don't think Hell Yeah would kick Wes at all.
Yeah, I tend to believe that.
No, I did see the video, and it was tough. You know, Mike Valuable sitting there shoving it in everyone's faces with the slow mo and the.
But when you slow a video down like that, you can make it look like anything. If
Exactly.
we sped it up, it wouldn't look like that.
That's why it's such a tough call, but I don't think Hell Yeah would kick Wes in the head like that.
Me either. That's something I firmly believe.
So I think this weekend, I hope Wes trusts Hell Yeah and believes Hell Yeah, and they unite and they kick.
I haven't seen anything where Wes has said that he doesn't trust Hell Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was just upset at it because he lost his heavyweight title because of it.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, with all these rumors circulating that was it an accident, was it on purpose, there'd be a lot going through Wes's head. I don't know. Personally, I hope Johnny Star waltzes into training next week with a big bruise on his face so I can rub it in.
I'll tell him you said that.
Yeah, I'll tell him I said that.
Wow.
The main event. There can only be one.
We already predicted this, but we'll predict it again.
Keegan Brettle, Orlando Jordan, Lee Moreau.
Who'd you say?
I said Keegan.
The king of the Padstow RSL.
The king of the Padstow RSL, the beer drinking, mullet wearing, absolute legend that is Keegan Brettle.
Now look, with this match, I think the longer it goes, the more chance you have of either Keegan or Morrow winning.
Is that because Orlando's a little bit older?
Orlando's an older guy. You've got Keegan and Morrow who are in the primes of their career. Orlando's still in phenomenal shape, still in the gym every day, but he is in his late 40s.
Yeah.
So if the match goes 10, maybe 15 minutes, I'd give it to Orlando. But if it goes anything longer than that, I think he's going to be in trouble, and it's going to be.
It's hard because you have the experience of Orlando, who's he's traveled the world, he's been in the most successful company in the world.
He's not afraid to cheat.
He's been a champion, right? Then you look at Keegan, who it's Keegan's home crowd.
Wrestled all over the world as well, though.
Wrestled all over the world, trained with Lance Storm. He's been to OVW and plenty of other places. So it's hard to overlook Keegan, a former All-Star Heavyweight champion as well.
Mm-hmm.
But then I feel like Lee Moreau's not getting a lot of notice here.
Well, he's got an advantage because
could he shock the world?
He's got an advantage. Keegan, to my knowledge, has never wrestled him.
Yep.
Orlando's never wrestled him, and they'd be watching the tapes and seeing what Moreau's up to, but they don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So. I guess if the match does go past the 15-minute mark and Orlando isn't as strong as he would be, it'd come down to who's the better wrestler between Keegan and Morrow.
Yeah.
And we don't know what to expect from Morrow.
He has just come back off a tour at the Nightmare Factory, trained under Cody Rhodes, Billy Gunn, QD Marshall.
He's won championships. He's been all over the East Coast as well.
It's a tough pick. I'm going my trainer Keegan.
I'm going Orlando, but if it goes longer than 15 minutes, it's anyone's game.
Wow.
Yeah. And I would say either Keegan or Morrow will leave if it goes longer than 15 minutes as champion.
Wow, that's huge.
There we go.
Did I miss any matches? I don't think so.
I don't know. It's a huge card box.
8 matches.
8 matches. I'm sure the people will remind you if you've forgotten one.
Akel says TNT on All Star? Question mark.
This has been asked before. I'd be down for it, but he's got this weird grudge against me.
Yeah, right. Doug says Mark Henry inseminated Mae Young 20 plus years ago. Mae Young birthed a hand. How could we put the hand over in 2023?
Doug's got a lot of interesting questions.
Yeah, I rate it. I rate it though.
I don't know how we'd get the hand over in 2023.
Beat the puppeteer.
Nah, put it in the ring with the puppeteer. Yeah. Our audience tonight will like that.
Ring announcer Phil says Panthers probably 4 in a row. Mary Fowler to make a grand final appearance in the crowd. No one cares about Nathan Cleary's love life. Doug says I'm 40, not 60. I assume that was in reference to you saying you're too young for the Golden Girls.
Oh.
The Zoo says TNT versus Aries. We've seen that a few times in the last few weeks. TNT versus Aries.
Have we?
No, I mean like the comment.
Oh, yeah. That would be interesting.
The Zoo says true Panthers will win. I'm pretty sure you're an Eels fan, Zoo. Mitchell Burns says we see how that ends. Ring announcer Phil, Aries has the best win-loss record percentage the past year. Wouldn't put it past Aries going over anyone.
I recently discovered
Dullahan?
that Aries has only lost 1 match this year.
Wow.
That was in Bateman's Bay.
Wow.
Yeah. So there you go. So you're going off the statistics.
This year in Bateman's Bay?
Yeah, this year, January, Bateman's Bay. Yeah. Second show of the year.
The Zoo says Aries squashed TNT, but he turns into Reptilian, Draconian, and attacks Aries after the match.
Next question, Chief.
Akel, is it true that Jack Dullahan carries around Ryan Miller's skeleton when he walks to the ring?
Yeah, the thing that he has around his neck is Ryan Miller's skeleton. That's right.
Yeah. Ring announcer Phil says Jack would go over Orlando for sure. Laughing at Akel. Yeah, that's why we haven't seen old mate Vanilla Miller. All right.
I don't know where he is.
Ring announcer Phil says he struggles not to think about Green Day whenever he hears the name without warning.
Is that a Green Day song?
I don't know. Akel says Caesar over Fly Guy.
Yeah.
Mad baseline, by the way. Caesar with rum goes over anyone. You boys going to be in the mosh for Limp Bizkit? Can't say I am.
Nah, I won't be there.
Now Phil's talking about his concert experiences. Mitchell Burns says, I know I will be Akel. Come say hi. Can we even read that out loud?
Yeah, read it out. Go on.
Akel says, finger blasting some sluzzers at in the mosh at Limp Bizkit.
I believe it's at Limp Bicky.
Oh, Limp Bicky. Wow. I wonder if Akel has a Limp Bicky. Ryan Miller must be tall because that spine Dullahan carries is as long as a black man's intellect.
Wow. Things are breaking down.
I know. I don't know what's going on. Mitchell Burns says puppet for Prime Minister. I don't see Ryan Miller calling Jack Dullahan out for a match, so I wouldn't be surprised. Mike Valuable and Johnny Starr in a cult. Loving the Cuts boys. The cool wind on their head must feel good. Because they're both bald.
Oh.
I don't know. It's a question
Are
for
they
them.
part of a cult?
Yeah, are they?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah. Did they use baby oil on their heads as well? Got to pop the muscles, you know? Mitchell Burns. Akel, do you invest? Gold is through the roof at the moment, mate. I got in.
Is gold through the roof?
I don't know.
I'm with oil.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been too crash hot over the last year, to be honest.
Yeah, right. Akel says invest in new coin.
Don't touch that crypto stuff.
Mitchell Burns says, mate of a mate's uncle's Mrs. Dog owner reckons it's going to skyrocket. Checks out. Akel says, my son-in-law's half-sister's pet lizard reckons ExxonMobil is a safe investment. David Bullock says, it's getting spicy tonight. I think it's about to wrap up is what it's about to do.
It is. It's getting close.
Any last comments, thoughts, feelings, opinions, questions, whatever, throw them in. We'll answer them. And then we're not heading up to the Pad Star RSL for a few beers. That's what's happening. Yeah. What's with the facts?
Huh? Oh, I was just reading messages. I've got some messages to tend to.
All right.
I'm a busy man, Vox. What have we got to talk about, Vox?
Absolutely nothing. Look, the comments aren't flying through. It's been a pleasure.
Vox, we've got to plug. Sponsor. Or did you plug them while I was at my head?
No, I didn't. No.
Give them a plug.
No, hold on. Akel says, fantastic show, boys.
Thank you, Akel.
Got to do this more often. Well, we do it every week, Chief.
Yeah.
You need to jump in here more often. That's what you got to do more
and
often.
bring all your friends. I've noticed a bunch of new.
Yeah, Mitchell Burns. Thanks to Akel, we did well.
Clearly a friend.
Yep.
The Akel.
Maybe like a weekly thing, you reckon? Yeah, Wednesday nights. Jump on in.
Wednesday night.
Yeah. We are the Mitch and Alex Show, sponsored by Bulldog Glass and Property Maintenance. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so shit at this.
We've got a sponsor.
We do. Yeah, for all your glass and property maintenance needs, head over to our social media for the information, and for a small fee, the Bulldog does come and do the work.
Now, where will we be Saturday? Bob?
Saturday night, live at the iconic Pad Star RSL Club. 7 o'clock start, 6:30 doors, 7 o'clock bell time. Huge card, 8 matches.
I bet you Akel will be there.
I hope so. I hope Akel's there.
Who's on? Is there any Akel works for every promotion in town?
Feebly is there.
No, I mean, is there?
Who's on? PWA's on in Mountie.
Hey, kayfabe, brother.
Aren't they?
I told the people that though.
What do you mean? Okay.
Don't make them choose. Who else is on?
Oh, I get it.
What's he saying?
They're also the Mitch and Alex Show.
I
like it.
No Mitch Radecki, but there's a different Mitch.
Yeah.
Nice.
I rate it.
Yeah.
Smart.
But you're Akel on YouTube, not Alex, so it doesn't count.
Yeah. It's the Mitch and Akel Show. Not as fun.
I think Akel says where he's going to be.
I'm free Saturday, mate. Well, come on down to the iconic Pad Star RSL Club. Who knows? We might even do an Alex and Alex show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now
that's dimes.
We need to get Akel on the pod.
Imagine the Mitch and Alex show.
Would Akel make the jump? Now, he would be looked down by some of his peers. But imagine him sitting to your left, Alex. What?
Having a boxing match in Canberra. To my left? That way?
Where all the guests sit.
Yeah, where all the guests sit. No, yeah, I think that would be great.
Would Akel turn up at All-Star HQ? It's a question.
Mitchell Burns says, don't touch my partner.
Oh. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough, sir. Fair enough. I wouldn't like if he took you, Alex Vox.
Or you'll be hearing from my legal team.
All right.
But hey, how good would just a one-time thing? We'll strike a deal like All-Star and Kingdom, and we'll have the Mitch and Alex show.
Mitch and Alex show.
Yeah. The Mitch and Alex squared show. Something we'll be creative.
Yeah. I don't know about that one, Chief.
No?
Anyway, are we wrapping up? Let's wrap up.
Oh, I was going to plug Saturday again.
Oh, plug Saturday. Let's go.
Huge 8-match card, live at the iconic Pad Star RSL Club, 6:30 doors, 7 p.m. bell time. Get your tickets at www.allstarwrestlingaustralia.com.au.
I'm glad you got that .au in there.
Yeah.
Because people, they're always like, Box has got the email or he's got the website wrong.
Yeah, no, it's .au.
Yep.
And
you should know these things.
Yeah, I do.
You got the Bulldog maintenance and glass thing down packed.
Do I? Anyway, we'll see you guys Saturday night. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday we got nothing on. Why not?
And that's it from us. He's Mitch.
Am I?
I'm Alex.
We are.
And we are the Mitch and Alex Show. Signing off. See you later.